socks. These are all ordinary socks, but this pair from Miu Miu taught me a life lesson.
Don't let anyone else define your worth.
Yep, that's right. This pair of socks is gonna cost you more than an iPad. So why is this pair of socks so expensive?
If we are here discussing prices, we have an issue.
You should be so happy that you give me your credit card without even asking what is the price.
And that's exactly what happened with Miu Miu. Since 2021, Miu Miu has quadrupled their sales, outpacing everyone in the sector and topping the list index quarter after quarter. But something didn't add up when I looked into this backwards. I couldn't find a single mention of Miu Miu before 2021. So I immediately cross-checked their sales numbers. It turns out the brand was struggling to grow for a long time. Wait, did they magically jump from no growth to high growth? Well, now it could be because they have a new designer. Still the same designer. Maybe they got lucky and caught a trend or two. It just can't be because they have been incredibly consistent. And then I started to find all sort of reasons online. Their new stylist, Lota, them having a broader appeal and knowing exactly what Gen Z wants, and their move away from a seasonal business model. If it was really that obvious, why hasn't anyone been able to recreate the same results? There has to be more to the story. So I started pulling the business apart, and what I found had very little to do with what's on this paper. The two things that matter far more are the algorithm.
Our brains are being melted by the algorithm.
Your algorithm may know you better than you know yourself.
TikTok has been so successful in terms of implementing their algorithm.
The algorithm on TikTok can get much more powerful, and it can be able to learn your vulnerabilities much faster.
And a pyramid.
Prada is what at the end I am, and Miu Miu is what I would like to be. So it's myself hoping to be somebody else.
To know more about Miu Miu, I went through the campaigns and collections, but at some point, it felt like I was looking at two entirely different brands. I mean, look at these two campaigns that they did with Hailey. Honestly, if you didn't tell me, I wouldn't be able to think they are from the same brand. Same thing for these two campaigns with Kendall. They look so different. Crazy. Something must have happened in between 2019 and 2022. Here, their 2021 collection is where it started to feel different. Remember, Miu Miu has never changed their designer. However, they did hire a new GM in 2020. But even after they quickly made her Miu Miu's first CEO, she got snapped up by Dior even sooner. That immediately got my attention. We have to find out what this woman is about. Google wasn't very helpful at first. Lucky after a few advanced clicks, I found enough to map out what she was thinking. Here, I know this looks like a mess, but I summed it up with 3 emojis. Ta-da! Bread, alien, rainbow. Double down on your bread and butter, make people want to talk about you, and finally sell rainbows. The common theme here is they're all much easier said than done. Most CEOs would say the same things. What is missing is the how. And there are different levels of how, not in terms of how much you do, but how unconventional you're willing to be. Even though you have the right thinking, with conventional actions, you only get conventional results. Given how crazy Miu Miu has been, having the right strategy isn't enough. They definitely did something unconventional. Of course, the CEO isn't going to give that away during an interview, but we can start from here. Surprisingly, being an Italian fashion brand, their core markets are in Asia and China, amongst Gen Z and millennials. So I started to analyze the Instagram post, focusing on just the Asian faces. You can see they're changing what they're doing in Asia. They went from mostly using runway models to working with pop idols and actresses and turning some of them into long-term brand ambassadors for the very first time. But getting an ambassador is the easy part. The difficult part is finding the character that fits the ambassador, the brand, and their market/customer desire. And Miu Miu had to test many different characters before landing on this one, the rich baby girl. Honestly, I am surprised this got approved by the brand's founder/designer. Because if we look at Miu Miu's DNA, they are very far from this perfect doll-like conventional character.
That DNA cannot be killed or overrun in the long term.
But hey, it prints money.
It can be for some years.
Hang on. How did they even come up with this identity to begin with? Clearly, if you start from Miu Miu's brand values, it's hard to get here. But if you start with what was trending on Chinese social media, it can't be more clear. Chinese social media invented a new underground industry for us, fake rich as a service, where you could rent anything for a day to fake rich on social media. People want to look rich, feel rich, fake it until you make it. So in theory, this desire goes up even more when the economy goes down. And China's economy was facing many challenges when Miu Miu introduced the rich baby girl archetype. Their timing was perfecto. Now finally, it's time to get more attention. This micro skirt set went viral in 2021. It happened so fast that I assumed it was just luck. But they did it again, and again, and again. This can't be random because if we look at these items carefully, they all carry similar viral traits. This exposes one fundamental change inside the brand. They have moved away from 100% creative led to more algo led, so that they could get closer to what their customers like and need.
TikTok knows everything about us.
TikTok's secretly listening to us while we're watching videos? I don't know.
The answer to how this app gets to know you so intimately is a highly secretive algorithm.
We will continue to progress on our digital roadmap, always keeping the customer needs at the center of our strategy, because there is no luxury without personalization.
Which explains the drastic difference that we are seeing in their campaigns, their designs, and their brand identities. But here's the catch. Every hot-selling item creates an army of copycats. So then what makes people choose Miu Miu over other brands? Sounds corny, but the CEO has stuck to this core from day one. Here she explains. Consumers want more. They don't ask about status. They want inspiration, and to connect to the brand, they want social impact. And Miu Miu is a feminist brand that stands for freedom and emancipation.
You have a DNA. Your brand is a DNA. This is where people are recognizing you. This is where you're authentic. So you need to go back there.
That's deep. Or maybe being deep is exactly why it stacks. It makes it hard for the copycats to get it and do the same thing. To understand this better, I went through more materials about us humans and found this pyramid created by Bain about 10 years ago, which maps out 30 elements of value across 4 types of human needs: functional, emotional, life-changing, and social impact.
More elements are better. If you can deliver more elements of value, you will have higher growth and higher advocacy as measured through NPS.
The most powerful forms of value sits at the top of the pyramid, but to earn those, you need to provide at least some of the bottom elements. Now, if we look at most luxury brands, they all have similar bottom elements. What makes a difference are those top elements. Even though they all sound positive and inspiring, but not every positive value resonates the same way with today's cultural context. The most important step is to figure out how relevant are they today. And there is a quick way to find out. Underneath, the algorithm again. Look, TikTok's general bias towards authenticity isn't a product design choice. People grew tired of highly polished and perfect images from the TV commercial and Instagram era, so it's time to do something different, and Miu Miu quickly capitalized on that. They're making less polished campaigns, creating contradicting brand characters, using more inclusive runway casts, and hosting more cultural events to build a deeper connection with their community.
If Miu Miu was a book, the title would be
How to Find Yourself. The Art of Being Almost Innocent.
How to Be Me. It will be something about freedom because Miu Miu give me always this energy and this vibe of being your natural self, something about freedom.
In the CEO's own words, they're here to address people's individuality and accept their contradictions. It's an ode to freedom. And that's what ultimately makes their logo so special and why people are willing to pay so much more just to be associated with their brand.
We are in a different industry where if I'm not able to sell you an emotion, then we discuss about pricing. If we discuss about pricing, I failed on the first part.